talk about one of the parts of the job that they don't put in the brochure. You're at a unit. You're gonna do a compressor replacement. So you've gotta go through this same process, whether it's a filter dryer, I mean, period. You open the system, you're doing this, right, at a minimum. We're gonna recover the refrigerant, right? We gotta hook up all our stuff, pull the refrigerant out of the system, then we gotta cut the system open, pull out our component we're replacing, and then what? We gotta braze it up. And then we need to make sure our system's not leaking. So we go ahead and we pressurize the system with nitrogen. Then we can confirm whether there's a leak or not. Once we prove we're tight, we can release that nitrogen, hook up for our evacuation so we can dehydrate and degas the equipment. Once we do that, you may have to go back to nitrogen a few times. So if we did notice a leak, now we're going back to that process and then back to evacuation as many times as needed. Even then, once we get done, we still need to remove all of that and then hook up our hoses to charge the system with refrigerant, whether from a recovery tank or a virgin cylinder. This entire time, you're managing all of these processes and you're purging hoses the entire time. You're trying to manage all of these flows of air, refrigerant, nitrogen. Every time you touch those hoses, there's a chance to contaminate the job, the equipment, or the process itself. That's lost refrigerant, that's lost time. And if you're being honest, that's the type of fumbling around and friction that makes an otherwise clean job feel like more work than it should have been. A working technician got fed up with it. And instead of just complaining like me and maybe the rest of us at times, he fixed it.
Well, I was used to when I vacuumed down a system using my manifold gauges. I'd leave the Schrader cores in. Back in the day, it would take hours and hours to vacuum down a system. That's how I did it. And then we started using hoses, big hoses from the vacuum pump directly to the Schrader core removal tool. That was a game changer right there in itself, right? So I started doing that, and then I quickly realized that I needed some more ports to add hoses or gauges and stuff like that. So I started stacking them together, and sometimes I'd stack one tool on top of another, or even another tool on top of that. And there were so many potential leak points that it was very cumbersome to use all those tools together.
That is Robert Kraft. And if that name rings a bell, it should. He's the guy behind the Jumper King, a low voltage troubleshooting tool that a lot of you already have on your trucks. But here's the thing about Robert, he's not a product guy in an office somewhere or a factory. He's an active technician like you. He's out there doing the same calls that you are, possibly even right now as we speak. So in other words, the tool didn't come out of some marketing meeting. It came off of a job site, a guy who got tired of that hose dance and decided there had to be a better way. So he built it for himself. We're just helping him bring it to the rest of you. So this is the Nvr3 tri-port valve core removal tool. The whole idea behind it fits into that one line. 3 ports, 2 sizes, 1 tool. 3 ports, each with its own quarter-turn ball valve. It fits both 1/4-inch and 5/16 ports. So standard and unitary equipment, as well as mini splits and VRF, this thing's ready for both. It's built to handle most refrigerants, all of your A2Ls included, but the ports and fittings aren't really the point. The point is what those 3 isolated ports allow you to do. Here's where it starts to earn a place in your recovery and evacuation setups. You hook up to the system one time. This gets even more elaborate once you add a second tool and employ this as a pair. You recover through it, then you evacuate through it without pulling a single hose and swapping anything. Pressure test with nitrogen through it, and then charge through it. Recovery, evacuation, leak testing, and charging. And your hoses never came off the equipment. And because every port has its own ball valve, you just isolate wherever you want, whenever you want. You can isolate a hose or a gauge, so you're not dragging cross-contamination from one process into the next. And you're not slamming a pressure gauge with a spike that it wasn't prepared for. Think about what that actually kills off for you. No more breaking the vacuum to swap hoses, no purging the same lines 4 times, no second guessing whether the swap you just made let something in that wasn't supposed to. Set up once and you flow through the entire job. And it's built like a tool that lives in a work truck. Metal handles, a black matte finish, a knurling on the grips that you can actually feel and turn with gloves on. So we've also added a strong magnet to the stem base, so when you pull a valve core, it doesn't end up in the dirt or the snow, down on the ground, it stays put up, clean, and right where you can find it. That said, 99.9999% of the time, just change the stem out, change the core out. Do not put a used core back in unless you're in a spot where you don't have any to put back in. So these features are all tells, really. These aren't features that were dreamed up in a conference room. This is from technicians that have dropped their stem and lost their core one too many times, improperly purged their setup during the job, and dealt with the repercussions of that. So that's the NVR3. Again, recovery, evacuation, leak testing, charging. One connection, no hose dance. A2L ready and built by somebody who actually does the work.
I have a huge passion for inventing tools. What really gets me excited for the day, excited about this, is making a difference. It has nothing to do with money at all. I don't even care about that side of it. Yeah, it's great and all, but the passion is to make a difference in the HVAC industry. Like creating this tool. It's on the supply houses. It's helping these service guys out there do their jobs safer, faster, smarter, whatever it is. For me to be a part of that just makes me feel like I can't even explain to you. So I don't know what's gonna come next out of my brain. But I'm always thinking, and it just gets me excited to wake up every day to create something.
I spent a lot of years on both sides of this industry now, and I'll tell you, the tools that last are the ones that come from the field, from somebody solving their own problems. This is one of those. Go put your hands on it and you'll get it in about 30 seconds. Thanks so much for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.